And the reason you can say no is because there are people who are divorced. There are people who are not together that love the person that they were with, but love wasn't enough to keep them together. And that's just that's just the long and the short of it. Like, you can really love somebody, but they not be good for you, or you've outgrown them. And it's just, in love, you have to tell them goodbye. Like, it is painful. It is hurtful. It is hard. But love isn't enough to, like, yes, love conquers all. Love conquers a multitude of sins. But sometimes it really don't. It just doesn't.
Okay. So if that's the case, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because I agree with you, right? But I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna get to why I agree, and I'm expounding what she just said. But for this point here, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. What's the use? And of course, the devil needs no advocating for. But what's the use of getting in a relationship, professing your love, when the supposed foundation isn't enough to hopefully keep y'all together?
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
Hello, everyone. It's your girls, that Thorny Chick, Karen KK Rose, alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. DK, tell the people hello.
What's going on, people?
Really? That's it? That's all we got? Normally you're high strung.
Say again?
I said normally you're real high strung.
Yeah, well, you
want to sing, you want to dance, you want to, entertain them, and right now it's going,
Oh, a person's old age, they, the wind blows in their
The sundowners is kicking in again. Is that
it's not even the sundowners, right? It's just, it takes a lot to deal with my goddamn co-host. People don't understand. Like, I don't drink.
I
don't drink, but I mess around, toss, a shot of doggone chocolate milk back. Yeah.
Not chocolate milk. Ew.
You don't drink. See, I knew you wasn't black. I don't understand you.
But I'm just trying to say, like, who takes a shot of chocolate milk? Like, that's
okay, chocolate milk is chocolate milk. I don't understand. Like, people get to a certain age and they just stop doing things that they loved as a kid. And we even spoke on previous podcasts how you are, you had a great childhood as far as what was given to you. Maybe not the actual childhood itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what was given to you. You went to private schools, this, that, and the third and the fourth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but me going to Malcolm X Elementary in South with an F, pardon me, Southeast DC, we get the free lunch boy, right? And when they would serve chocolate milk, like, people would give away their whole lunch just to get chocolate milk. Like, you could be starving, but you walk down there and you see that small carton, and it was like, man, you can have my whole lunch I just need let me get your chocolate milk for the whole lunch. And you would still be hungry, but you'd be happy. Like, that would be the highlight. And that was me. That would be the highlight of my day. I go back to school, go back to class, probably stomach rumbling, but happy because I had 2 cartons of chocolate milk. It was only 4 more hours of tough out, just 4 more hours. That's it.
I'm lactose, so milk ain't gonna do it for me. It's just not. I can't yuck your yum, though. That's not what I'm here to do.
Yeah,
But chocolate milk, no thanks. No thanks. No thanks.
Yeah, I smell you so quickly. Let me say that quickly, because you go on. This is your life rants.
Oh my God, this coming from you, though.
My rant
would be forever be like, oh, I'm long-winded, but to make this,
this is okay. You understand? Okay, right. So I'm long-winded, but I'm not taking shots on those. Go sound that way, so stay with me. So I'm long-winded, and there's a nugget, there's a jewel, there's a he, there's a he didn't say. There's a lot within as I talk and the wind is blowing, strongly. There's a lot in what I'm saying. So I'm giving you a whole lot. That's the reason why I'm long-winded. But we go down your trailer. What's going on with you? You want to talk about, hair particles. Like, what?
Hair particles? You mean hair products?
No. I say what I said. Hair product, like that's how in tune with the hair products and hair care, the self maintenance. You want to get down to the hair particles. I'm like, so quickly. What's going on with you? And there's a reason why I'm saying quickly. It's as of this recording, it's a Saturday evening. The basketball game comes on 8:30. I want to say it's the closeout, either 8:30. It's the closeout game. Hopefully between the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. I'm a lifelong Laker fan. I'm not, I ain't jump on a bandwagon when we acquired LeBron James. I've been there since '79. Like when I used to be a Washington Bullets fan. So like, who's the Bullets? They're currently the Wizards, right? I used to be a Washington Bullets fan, but 1979, when we drafted Irvin Magic Johnson, I've been a fan ever since. And it's been a minute since we've been, playing at this high level. So I want to watch the game in its entirety. So that's the mood, the reason for my mood of hurry your monkey ass up and let's get going with the good stuff. You in the way of what I'm trying to do, right?
Right. Nothing really new going on that I can think of. I did tell my dad today though that from here on out I'm not going to Home Depot by myself.
We need to talk about your. Yeah, I'm so glad we brought up your father. Like, we got to bring him to the podcast. But please, why you're not going to Home Depot anymore?
So this is not Don. This is Daddy Jr. So I texted him. I'm like, listen, I'm not going to Home Depot by myself no more. So I went today because I needed a filter for my refrigerator. So I didn't realize that they have changed the name on them. Like there's a certain one if you have a new refrigerator, they're either MWF or XWF. Well, mine is now XWFE. Well, there's nobody in the department to ask. And I was just like, hey, I'll just order online and have it shipped to my house. So when I got home, I Googled it just by happenstance. Like, what's the difference between the WXF and WXFE? Well, there's nothing. So I could have bought the one that was at the Home Depot. However, in the process of doing this, I feel like I'm being stared at. Well, I became like the meat in a white boy sandwich, and I didn't want to be. I got real uncomfortable real fast. So I like grabbed the filter and I stepped back because I'm like, if y'all two gonna bump into each other or try to squeeze me out, like it's not gonna happen. I felt like it was a scene out of like Willy Wonka. Like it's not cool. So I walk away. I'm reading the back, and like the one guy kind of was like following me, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna get real awkward real fast, and I'm going to not. It's not going to be right. It's not going to be politically correct. So I put the filter back and I walked out. Got in my car, was looking online. They don't have them online. I had to order them from somewhere else. And then I texted my dad. I'm like, listen, this is the last time I'm coming to Home Depot by myself. I was like, can't do it. And then he goes, I can't help it that you're cute. And you went to Old White Man Alley. Like, that's your problem, not mine. I said, okay, well, please know that you're going to hold my hand the next time we go.
Wow. That's truly, truly crazy. Interesting though, crazy and interesting. So it is what it is. So, attractive people who attract attractive people. So,
listen, no. What we not going to do is
what we ain't going to do.
What we not going to do. And this is exactly what I said to him. No, the man was not cute. He had, and I called my dad's name, which is Don. I said, no, they had Dad Don. They said Daddy Don, dad body. No, thank you. Nope.
See, there you go. See, you're going to turn down. He could have been everything you prayed for minus the six pack.
Nope. I can tell you no right now. Nope.
Like, I don't understand. Like you're not, it's okay. Okay. People, like we're going to get into, I promise you, we're definitely, going to get into the shits. But people be praying. They be on their knees. People be praying so long and so hard. They actually buy knee pads. Like they get real comfortable on the floor, right? They get real because the bed be cold. You know what I mean? The social life sucks, and they be praying for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right or just he got to be this way, and he got to. And then God, like, I hear you, right? But I'm gonna send you something that I'm gonna send you what you need, not what you want. So today you could have been in the midst of being blessed with what you need and not what you want, and you acting bougie.
Yep, I'll be that because.
So you would prefer? Help me out here, right? So you would prefer to be dealing with a man that you wanted, but he wasn't what you needed. Now, to my understanding, I could be wrong here, but dealing with people that you need, they help you go further than what you want, because wants are 9 times out of 10 superficial. based upon looks, status, what can they do for you, things of this nature. But what you need is 9 times out of 10 when you're dealing with a person whom what you need takes you to that next level in life. Whether it be sexually, whether it be financially, whether it be within love, they don't look the part, but they take you to that. We give you good shit earlier. I'm trying to tell you, they take you to that next level in life because they're what you need and not what you want.
Okay. Now, do you want to hear why this does not work for me?
I mean, that's just my take. I've been married since 12 years a slave, so I've been out the dating game since ever.
A slave. Okay. So the real is that if God's going to send me somebody that I want or need, there is a major qualification. Do you want to guess what that is?
No, I don't, because I don't want to offend nobody.
Oh, it's going to be offensive. It's going to be very offensive. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For me, he's got to be black. That's just it.
There's nothing wrong with that. I knew you were going to say that, but okay. I knew you were going to say that he has to be black. So then, okay. So I guess I got to ask, because somebody's listening would like to ask if, what you need and or want has to be black. Have you ever dated outside of your race? And if you have, what was the attraction that made you do it? And why are you currently not still open to dating outside of your race?
So to answer the question, I think in the succession of what you asked them, yes, I've dated outside of my race. I was young then, and I wanted to, not so much for the bragging rights, but to say that I did. Because when I went to college, my dad was kind of like, experience everything. Like, he was like, don't be so closed off. Like, he knew kind of like my set of rules for life and things like that. And he was like, listen, you're about to go to college. It's going to be a different experience. Because he went to 2 separate colleges. He went to college in Jamaica, and then he went to college in London. And so he was like, listen, the world was really open. And so he was like, I don't want you to be so pro-black that you just become anti everything else. He goes, that's all I'm saying. So
and your father was cool with that?
What?
My bad. I'm sorry. Because we definitely we're like, okay, I'm gonna let you go through your go-to.
So he was like, just be open. He's like, just be open. So I was like, okay.
He is so unique.
So, so I went to college, and I did date different outside of my races. Had a lot of interactions with different men. I did date a white guy, very sweet, very kind. It's just especially now at this point in life, when you get to certain social issues, when you get to certain parts of being black, I don't want to have to or have the desire to explain to you why things are the way they are, or you act oblivious to it. Is that every white person? No. Is it the ones that maybe I was entertaining at the time? Maybe. But I think there's always this kind of white privilege is a real thing. Like, you get the option to pretend that you don't see what's going on right now.
So it's light skin privilege, but I still deal with you.
I do not have light skin privilege. I just have really good hair. I don't. I do not have light skin privilege. I just look really nice and I have good hair. But at the end of the day, if the cops go,
she said she got good hair. Look,
listen, that's it. That's out of the whole light skin demographic stereotype. The only thing I am, I got good hair and I look nice. That's it.
I'm offended
because that's what everybody says about light skinned people is that they got good hair. They got good hair and they look nice. Like, who? I'm like, okay, like my hair's good. Like, what the hell?
They got something on Netflix called Good Hair.
Go watch it.
Hurt.
So yeah, so it's just not my cup of tea. It's just not my cup of tea anymore. So yeah, what I want and what I need, God let him be at least 6 foot, tall, dark, and handsome.
So women with bad hair, do they have to put their hair on timeout? I'm so confused. Like, what? She said she got.
Like, the definition for in the black culture for good hair is that because I don't have to get a perm, I don't have to go to the beauty shop, really around the clock. I can really go every 6 months if so be it, but that's just not it's just not my makeup. I put water in my hair and I go.
Whoa,
so that's the definition because my hair is curly.
That's the definition of good hair.
Yeah, it's because it's low maintenance.
Right. She said, okay, she's okay. Oh, this is great stuff. Like sometimes you just gotta, this is like something, okay. I don't even mind that, we're recording this on a Saturday evening. I promise you I don't, because sometimes people say shit. You just gotta be like, did they really say that? And I'm not trying to like put you in the box but I didn't say it. You did. And like, we've had this discussion before on, previous podcasts about this good hair thing. And I don't subscribe to like hair is hair. I think, and then I don't understand how you can be pro-black and then talk about you have good hair. Because pro-black is just like, even though that your melanin in your skin is not as obvious as other black people. And that's an inside joke. Cool, it's not a problem. We're not doing the division because of, we're not. But I'm just trying to get my co-host to understand you got to be careful with the language when you start to talk about what do you consider good based on your lack of melanin in your skin. Like you got people that has, that's dark skin and same texture of hair. You have people that's dark skin and their hair is considered to be coarse, right? But I don't get the label of good hair, bad hair. And then and jokingly, non-jokingly, that's what I was referencing to when I said that light skin privilege, like people that's like you. Now, I'm not taking shots, but it just, when I see you on the gram, it's just the pursed lips and you run your fingers through your head. I'm like, okay, I see you. Yeah,
Where do you see me run my fingers through my hair?
Anytime you get a fresh haircut or you get the wig done, you
different.
See, and now you want to clean up the bullshit, and so
it's
like
not an everyday thing. Like you gotta hire.
It's not even. It doesn't have to be an everyday thing. It's just the simple fact that you do it, and then you are conscientious of what you perceive to be an advantage because of your lack of melanin in your skin. You perceive you having good hair as like, I'm kind of confused how you're pro-black, throw up the power fist people, right? But I got good hair because like, it's like that's a contradiction. And so I'm kind of like stuck. Like, how do we have that train of thought to even reference what the person having good hair? Like good, what? It's hair. Like it's hair. There's nothing good or bad about it. It doesn't have no manners. It doesn't need to be put on timeout.
And we all know I would go cut it all off tomorrow and care not. I will go back to a fade. It is not a problem for me.
Right. Okay. You can call them the PR people. These viewpoints have been expressed solely by my co-host. I do not subscribe to that good hair bullshit. No matter how you rock your doggone wig, just rock it. Rock it natural, cool. You want to rock it with your fingers through it, cool. It's yours. Do something with it. My only doggone specification, before, let me say this, before I was married, I don't care the length of your hair, but just have enough so I can grab when we doing the do. That I don't care if it's just like, I just need to get a handful. It helps me to get deeper because I'm disadvantaged in certain areas, so I can get deeper with the hand in the middle of the back and the hair. Like it's to help the arch out in your back. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God. If that's not every man across America.
I'm not speaking about every man across America. I'm just speaking about every man that's sitting in my seat that's on my microphone. Me. Solely me. Right. Anyway, what's else going on with you besides that you dodging, old white guys with, lust in the eyes?
With the sugar daddy whole, thing going on Instagram. No, thank you. If you're listening, no, thank you. I don't need a sugar daddy. Thank you. My father's still living. I will go beg him for money if it comes down to it. I will go beg my own father.
Great segue. Speaking of your father, sometimes you get to meet the family. You like raise your eyebrow and just smile, nod, and back away carefully. Some people are special for no reason. So I'm of course I'm saying this in fun. There's no disrespect, right? No. I'm not even gonna give the story. I'm gonna let my co-host give the story of me interacting with her father. This shit right here.
You were the one that had the conversation. I didn't.
This shit right here.
I didn't have a conversation with him though. I know how he is, so he don't.
So okay. So if you know how you're
I'll volley.
No. Hold on. Okay, so if you know how your father is, why would you even put him on my line? You just be like, nah, Dad, I don't know about it. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not gonna. I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not gonna send you anybody that's like difficult. Is not even the word.
I beg to differ.
Who did I send you that was different? Oh, Quest, my man. Shout out to Quest. We like you, Quest. Okay, maybe not. Not Quest, my dude. Quest, my dude. He was just, it was his first book. So, if y'all wonder what we're talking about or what we're alluding to, besides the Love Is podcast, we do, have a business venture dealing with self-publishing. And so we help other authors get their vision, and, we help them bring their vision to life. Long story short, one of the services that we do offer is website design. When your boy is locked in, I do a great job. So let me go and set the story up. Let me set the table. Then I'm gonna go ahead and let
you
my
want me to set the table because
I'm gonna set the table. I'm gonna set the table. And I'm gonna let you bring up.
Because that's how it happened. I set the table. You ate, and then I didn't
eat. I didn't. Some things you got. Like once again, like how you was yucking my young when it came to chocolate milk.
Mm-hmm.
Like you brought what you brought to the table. Like no, don't. I don't care what the price was. It's like I'm good. Let me just move around. So the what it was is, Kern being a daddy's girl, because that's the reason she only knows sugar daddy, because she still got her hands in the father pocket, right? So her old man asked her, did she know anybody that does web design? And so of course, she recommended me, which is good. We keep, the money all the way in house. So it went from his pocket to the business, from the business back into her pocket. So she ain't slick, cool, not a problem. At all. Everybody gets to eat, right? That we're good, right? So she gives her father my information. We make contact. I'm gonna stop talking in the risk of me offending Kern's father or Kern, because she gonna feel a certain way if I talk bad about her daddy.
I'm not.
But what I will say, I'm going to hit just a catchphrase that I've been like, okay, the baby made this catchphrase famous, but I've made it my own. Like I interacted with Kern's dad, and after I sat at my desk and I was dumbfounded. Like, what the hell? I was dumbfounded, mortified, scared. I was a host of things. Like, what the fuck just transpired? I'm trying to get information for a website. Like, if you look up the word difficult or peasant be gone or have to be dismissive.
Peasant be gone, definitely.
You would see a picture of Kern's father. Like, you are, like, his whole aura is, you're beneath me. And I'm going to stop right there. And because I've been, painted the picture. I'm gonna go ahead and let you put the I'm gonna let you go ahead and put the frame around the picture. You do what you do, man.
So this is true. So my dad sat there and asked me, and when he asked me about the website, I kind of looked at him crazy, which I figured he would put two and two together. Like, oh yeah, duh, Karen's got a website. So I said, yeah, I know somebody. So I just left it at that. Never said anything else. Didn't say who I was sending to him. Nobody. I just had a conversation with DK. Like, yo, call my dad. He wants a website. We discussed, this, that, and the third about our services and rah, rah, rah. So I said, figure out what he wants and go there. Now, the whole reason I was pushing him off was because I knew how my father was going to behave, because my dad is exactly my dad. So he definitely has the peasant be gone aura about him. It's with everybody, whether you pump gas, whether you serve coffee, whether you are a waitress, a bartender, you doing any kind of work for him. Please know that he is not going to make you feel like you know what you're doing as a professional in your field. He's never going to do that. So they had a conversation. Now, the part that DK does leave out that was highly hysterical. I literally cried for about 15 minutes. Calls me back and was like, oh, I got a phone with your dad. I was like, oh, how did it go? Because in my head, I knew this was going to go south, but I just didn't know at what point. He was like, oh, your dad's a real Jamaican. No shit.
Okay, I don't know how that adds to the belittling of a person's attitude as far as their, I guess, nationality.
It's his tone. It's his tone and his accent.
Okay,
it's his tone and his tone and his accent. So
I know a few Jamaicans. They're not dismissive, so I don't want to blame it on the whole race.
No. My dad's a Jamaican. He has a Jamaican accent, so there's certain words that he cuts off when he talks and things like that. So, but he just has a dismissive tone. So. The first conversation initially was fine, and then DK sent him the questionnaire that we send all of our clients, like, hey, just so we're clear about what you want. So then once we start getting in the process of making this website happy, you get what you want, and then I ain't got to keep going back and forth because, as DK always says, time is your most precious commodity. So he sent him the questionnaire. My dad's response was, please get the information. I don't even think he said please. He probably normally did. He normally doesn't say please and thank you. You have to make him. He said, get the info off of my other website.
Yeah, did y'all hear that, people?
He-
I got a one line.
he's
I got a one line. I sent a
to
question in. I got one line back. It said, "Get the information off my
other
like.
website.
If you want me to update your website, how do I ascertain what am I updating? What color scheme? What are you changing the logo? Like how modernized do you want this website to be, or do you want it close to that? But just a few minor like." All I got was get the information off of. I was like, okay, I'm out. I like let's bail. Let's jump ship.
So DK hits me back and was like, "Listen, I know in the beginning you would." And I warned him. I said, "He's difficult. He's going to probably not do what you ask. So I'm telling you this now. Now, if you choose, now this was my original statement.
No.
Choose not to work with him. I understand." But at the beginning, I was like, if he's going to pay money for a website, let it go to our pockets first. But if he becomes difficult and you don't want to do it, that's cool. No hard feelings. It's not going to stop anything, clearly. So that was his response. DK was like, "Nah, I'm good." I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, do you want me to talk to him first before you say, 'Nah, I'm good'?" Like, "Nah, because I just feel like this is always going to be his MO. So what ends up happening is DK sends him an email, which I don't think he's seen. I don't think he's even read the email. So DK has actually sent my father an email that says, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for considering us for your business, but no thanks. We're good." My dad has not seen this email. And I know he has not seen this email because when he talked to me, I said to him, so I told DK, I said, "Go ahead and send him the you ain't gonna do it email. And I'm going to see what he says on the back end." So I text my dad. I was like, "Hey, did you by chance fill out this questionnaire so you can get this website done?" "Oh, no, I'll get my assistant to do it," was his exact response. He then sends DK a follow-up email after the "no, I'm not doing it" email to say, "Oh, I'll get my assistant to send you the information in a couple of days." It's been a couple of days and he still ain't done it. Which he did ask about you. What day was that? Thursday, Friday?
Please.
Thursday or Friday, I'm actually physically sitting next to my father, and he was like, "Hey, so your website guy." I'm like, "What about him?" He's like, "Oh, he's out of DC." I'm like, "Yeah." And he kind of looked at me and he's like, "Wait, is this your guy?" And I'm like, "What does that mean, Dad?" He's like, "Oh, this is the guy that did your website and your publishing." "Yeah." "Oh, okay. I'll get my assistant to send him the information." Now, mind you, that was, again, Thursday, Friday, and we still ain't got the email back to say what he wants, what he's doing with his said website. But yeah, if you look up difficult, there will be Don Reynolds. So sad.
Yeah. So, and there was either she forgot to add this, or she forgot, not intentionally, either or intentionally. She omitted with intention or without. So this is why I quickly, no disrespect, this is why I quickly soured on working with her father, per the follow-up question. Like, cause like we after I talked to him, he was like, "Well, you can call me back at this time here. I have a meeting. I have a meeting, so you can call me promptly at this time here." Or his words, not mine, or you can email me. So I knew I had a long list of questions pertaining to the website, and I didn't want to ask him questions over the phone that he may or may not can answer. So I shot him the email, right? And then I'm at work. I get home from work. I see he called. So I come through, drop my stuff, sit down in my chair, compose myself, because it is Karen's father. You want to be respectful. This is my co-host. I hold her in high regard. And so I want to be respectful of people that's in her circle, not a problem. So I give, her father a call back. And as we're talking, this is what, Lord have mercy. This time I didn't say Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Karen's father told me, he was like, "I haven't heard from you in a couple of days." So, I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "But I sent you an email, sir. Like that way it's easier to go back and forth because I had a lot of questions." He said, "Yeah, I started to tell Karen that, the next time that you recommend me somebody, have them be a tad bit more professional."
Oh, I did forget that part.
I'm like, "But I did exactly what you said and emailed you." To the email, and okay, this is cool, right? Because I'm kind of smart, and I'm not even being a dick. Okay, I'm being a hairy dick with small balls. So I BCC'd Kern. That's blind. Whether that ever see
blind carbon copy.
Yeah, blind carbon copied Kern to make sure that, okay, like I want to keep you in the loop because it's family. It's your old man. I want to see that, I'm handling him and he get the, special treatment because it's your old man. So I made sure when I sent that email to him, after we got the phone, I went up, took me a shot, came back down immediately, boom, sent him and her the email. And I'm like, you talking to me to be more professional. I sent you the email. You didn't even check it or respond. So I took the little jab, the little shot. And after I received that energy, I was like, nah, I can't do that, because I lose my co-host. You know what I mean? I'm good. Like yeah. There'll be no more Love Is podcast.
And the thing of it is, it really wouldn't have happened because I know him. Like when I got my house done, he was so nasty to like the contractor, the electrician. And I would literally like be cringing on the inside. Like, my God, I'm not going to have a house. My painter was agitated. The contractor was agitated. Everybody was it was already stressful because, I was still living in my apartment. My house, I had bought the house. I didn't move in. I bought my house in December. I didn't move into my house until April. We had to get the tenants kicked out. So it was just a lot going on. And emotionally, it's a lot to deal with, especially when financially you're putting out this much money. And he would be so mean to people. Like the one day my mom and her friends came by, she was just showing them the house and showing them, what updates I was doing. Because again, I bought my parents' old house and he comes outside and he just looked at her friends like, basically his look was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And he literally verbally says to my mom, why are you here? And I was like, oh my, so she's texting me while I'm at work. And I'm like, oh my God, my house is going to fall apart because somebody's going to set it on fire with him in it. He's just that way. He really he's a very particular person.
Right. So do you think you have any qualifications of your father? You have any size of qualifications? Do you have any, traits, character traits? That's the term. Any at all? Like,
Yeah. Not in that sense. I don't feel like I'm dismissing.
You sure? Like, it's kind of hard to look at the picture when you're the frame.
No. I don't think I'm dismissive of people. I do expect a certain, like, if I'm contacting you about a certain service, is there a certain way I want to be handled? Absolutely. Am I dismissive like he is? No. Do I speak to people as crazy as he does? No. Do I have the potential? Absolutely. Now that I'll give you. But I definitely am a hard worker like he is. I have a very short temper like he does. There are a lot of characteristics that he has that I have, both good and bad. So I won't lie about that. Both. Yeah, and I'll never deny that. But I think in business, especially in business, people rather deal with me than him. That's always it's always a 9 out of 10 situation where they rather deal with me than him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we've been talked about
my daddy.
Enough. We didn't talk about you not liking black people enough.
Not liking black people enough. Wait, what?
The good hair thing. You.
Oh gosh.
You want to claim black is popular right now. So.
Oh god.
Anyway, we should be moving along to your favorite segment of the show.
I definitely am. Since you're all rowdy, riled up, I got something for you. So.
Don't blame me. Blame your own man.
Listen.
Just like, hey, I'm a good. I promise. We're like, okay, cool. We're about to get to her favorite segment of the show. But anybody that has actually worked with me knows to have that experience. Like I go above, and I'm just telling you how I do business because what I do know. Like one of them. It's not one of, but the main reasons why I go above and beyond whatever job that I've been paid to do is like. You always get return work and you get the best referrals just by going, like, you go that extra mile. So, it is what it is, was what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta help him. But anyhow, we're moving on to my favorite.
Who?
My dad. Him and yes. I don't know. He's 67. He's been that way for a while, but Jesus will fix it after a while.
Give him a hug.
He needs to be baptized and drink the water. I don't think a hug gonna help him. Moving on to my favorite segment because we haven't done it in a while. I feel some kind of way. I feel like the ratchetness has been neglected. It's what the fuck news. So DK,
yes,
this is who are the best lovers via the zodiac sign. So who do you think came in at number 1?
I don't know, but what me hearing this makes me think of Tyrese's song about Remember he was
Got
in
the
the
signs of lovemaking. Yep, 1, 2, 1 and
Right. That joint was dope. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sorry that Tyrese is, don't sing like he used to. He's doing movies and crying on IG. But I mean, he'll take my daughter. Oh no, that was petty. I was King Petty. Shit was hilarious, but I get it. You know what I mean?
The same daughter he has back now.
Say again?
I said the same daughter he has back now, and has had another baby since then. Got married, got another baby. Like, sir, what are we doing?
I mean, no, he was going through his go-through. I'm not knocking the hustle. I just, he was great meme material for a minute. But to answer your question, who's the best love making via the zodiac sign? I could not tell you because I'm biased, and I'm so biased to my sign, which is Sagittarius. But if I had to take a wild cowboy guess, I'm gonna go with Libra for whatever reason that just jumped out my ass. Let's go with Libra and see what that says. Survey says,
and number 1. In the greatest love makers, Gemini. Because they got split personalities, bro. They got split personalities. I would know because my father's a Gemini.
Okay, that's
split personality. There you have it, right there. He can be nice or he can be mean. But this survey that we're reading says that Gemini is seductive as fuck. In other words, they were basically born to be able to talk somebody out of their pants.
Oh, that's a lie.
They have the perfect combo of intellect and creativity, which makes them the best sign of sex and zodiac. Coming in at number 2 is one of Tyrese's favorites. It's a Scorpio. Number 3 is
that's a lie. I'm married to a Scorpio. Oh, Nikki gonna kill me. No, I'm sorry. This is a bullshit.
3 is Aquarius. 4
Who cares? Okay.
is Libra.
Stop.
Yep, Libra came in at number 4. Hey, Virgo coming in at number 5.
Why are you excited? And you go ahead.
What?
I'm just, first of all, how do you quantify this? What?
You a hater. That's what this is.
I'm not a hater, but logically, let's keep it a buck. How do you quantify that list? Like, how do you give it its merit? How do you deem that to be?
They gave you reasons for each one. I'm just not reading them.
Okay, well, since you was geeked about yours, because let's read your list and then see if you honestly agreed what the reason that was given for that for the 5th ranking.
All right, so at number 5 is Virgo. Your birthday is from August 23rd to September 22nd. This is us. Although a bit shy and reserved, all that changes when you get a Virgo into bed. While they might not be the best in bed or most creative, they definitely get an A for effort and eagerness. So that's something to look forward to if your partner is a Virgo.
Oh, so y'all just potential lovers. Y'all not.
I've never had any complaints. I mean, I'm not trying to recreate the wheel in bed. I definitely ain't. And I will say this: I'm not always the best initiator either. Nah.
I'm so excited. She has so much great potential. I'm gonna go home to a great cook meal as a potential. Like what?
I don't know about none of that. I just know I know how to rock the mic real well and ride. My knees are still really good.
I'm not knocking. Like once again, like I
right.
So how do I quantify? Okay, so how do I quantify your answer? Because I have no personal. You know what I mean? I would have to talk to previous boyfriends and current lovers, right? Mm-hmm. So before you give yourself the title of what you just said you're capable of doing, you can't say what you're capable of doing. Somebody got to say, okay, yeah, I'm trying to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want my name in that. All right, number 6. Taurus.
So you can just make it up as we go along, just lie on yourself, huh?
I'm definitely not. There's a lot of things I do to DK, and one of them is not a lie. 7, Aries. Number 8. You ready?
Oh, Jesus. This shit can't get more depressing. Please proceed.
Sagittarius. Of all the signs, Sagittarius is the most playful. While for some, that can be a great thing. If you're not someone who's looking for hot, intense sex, then Sagittarius is a bad choice. It's not that they are terrible in bed. They just need to quit with the jokes. Laughing during sex is awesome, but there's a fine line between having fun and being absurd.
What the that's like me on a motherfucking podcast. So I'm kind of confused. Like
every Wednesday. 9 is Pisces. 10 is Cancer. 11 is Capricorn. 12 is Leo. And we are done with the signs.
Man, In the words of The Rock, somebody need to take that list, turn that sumbitch sideways, and shove it up their candy ass. Like, who?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm just being no lube, by the way, no lube. Just take it raw. Take it raw.
Oof.
Oh, baby, we like it raw. Anyway, so look, first of all, like, you can't quantify that. There's no way to give that any validity. It's impossible. And far as Sagittarius being ranked that level based on the fact that we're jokesters while we're actually into that, I don't understand, right? So let me get really personal about Sagittarius, right? I knew if I'm dealing with a female and she happens to be a Sagittarius, oh my God. Not because, she's a Sagittarius like me. No. That's not the reason why. No. I know that there's going to be a bunch of sinful sex about to transpire. No questions asked, no fucks given, no judgment passed in dealing with a Sagittarius. I sound like an old school wrestler there when I cut that promo, but it's the truth. So I'm not understanding how this bullshit list, like what the... Yeah, instead of what the fuck news, that's like get the fuck out of here news. Like stop, please. We telling jokes like every other stroke we impersonating Richard Pryor.
Oh Lord.
like really that's I don't know. Like wow, that's crazy.
The list also says that the best sex match for a Sagittarius is an Aries and a Gemini.
You okay? Yeah. No.
Virgo is Capricorn or Scorpio.
My thing is like, okay, it's crazy. You love who you love, you sex who you sex, and you hope that you can get both of them in the same playing field. Like, cause it's a different dynamic, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a great segue into the topic of, cause we didn't talk for almost 40 minutes. We didn't come nowhere close. We gotta do a better job of that too, by the way. We gotta, and this is on air office talk. We gotta do a better job of cutting down because people like, are they ever going to get to the actual topic? And by the grace of God, hopefully we're
podcast. They talking about sports. They talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So
true, but they not 40 minutes in.
I promise you, the one you just sent me, they spent the first 40 minutes talking about.
Nah, don't do that. Don't first of all, your lips gonna fall off. That's blasphemy. You're not gonna talk about the great ET and the crew. That you ain't gonna do that.
Okay. They were
forgive her for she don't know what she says. ET, could you forgive her? ET.
31 minutes. They were still talking about the quarterback. They hadn't even got to the Lakers yet.
Whatever, but they was making a reference to what the podcast. What? See, there you go. You was hearing but not listening. So it's a difference when you can't help but hear because your ears work. Listen when you're paying attention. So they often make reference sports wise, right? But it's always in correlation to, for the most time, let me say that, to what the topic of the podcast is. And I think that, honestly, we need to do a little bit better job. And that falls mostly on you. This is your show and your baby. And I'm not throwing you underneath the bus. I want you to think that, right? So you need to rein me back in, because I'll take us down rabbit holes like I'm doing right now. We can just get to the topic. But the topic of this podcast is love enough? And I suggest this to my co-host and this actual podcast came from, a couple of conversations I had with the missus and then the conversation I had with my little brother. Cause we go in like, me and him could never do just our own joint. Cause our podcast would be like 6 days straight. 6 days we talking. Like I promise you, we be going in, right? But so the question is love enough in people's relationship? Like, the adage is love conquers all, right? Love is all things. Matter of fact, the name of this podcast is the Love Is Podcast. Cause I honestly believe that, yes, love does conquer all. Yes, love is enough. But in having conversations, I had to go back and revisit that thought. And that's one thing about being, an open-minded person. You will hear something that you believe that's concrete, stand on it, defend it, draw a line in the sand, and you'll die with it because that's what you believe. But once you're open-minded, then you gotta let me scale that back and see what people in my circle are talking about, and then how much validity are they giving their argument, and then it makes me change up my perspective. Now, I think love is the most important thing in all aspects of life. henceforth, that's why we named the podcast, you know what I mean? The Love Is Podcast. And the intro, because all things, not some things, but all things deserve to be loved. Not a problem. Still believe that. But the question I'm asking my co-host, the question I'm asking the listeners as they reflect on their life with their spouses, their kids, their significant others, whomever, is love enough? So before I go down the rabbit hole with what I think, my thoughts, I'm going to get out the way because I've been hogging the mic like I usually do. Pass it off to my co-host and ask her the simple question: is love enough?
No, absolutely not. And the reason you can say no is because there are people who are divorced. There are people who are not together that love the person that they were with, but love wasn't enough to keep them together. And that's just that's just the long and the short of it. Like, you can really love somebody, but they not be good for you, or you've outgrown them. And it's just, in love, you have to tell them goodbye. Like, it is painful. It is hurtful. It is hard. But love isn't enough to, like, yes, love conquers all. Love conquers a multitude of sins. But sometimes it really don't. It just doesn't.
Okay. So if that's the case, because I'm gonna play devil's advocate, because I agree with you, right? But I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna get to why I agree, and I'm expound on what she just said. But for this point here, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. What's the use? And of course, the devil needs no advocating for. But what's the use of getting in a relationship, professing your love, when the supposed foundation isn't enough to hopefully keep y'all together? And that's a crazy word, because you can be in a relationship like, look, okay, so this is what I mean. I have a really good friend of mine and whatnot. I'm not gonna put them out on Front Street, but I have a really good friend, got married, you know what I mean? He thought he was married. He thought he was happily married, right? His wife come home and be like, this not working. I can't do this. Matter of fact, it's not that I can't do this. I don't want to do this. My bags are packed. I don't want nothing, whatever. I don't want no alimony. I don't want the house. I'm going to take my car. I'm going to maintain my car note, but you can have the rest of this. Left her husband with the house note, left her husband with credit card bills, left her husband with this. She just stepped. And in his mind, because there was no signs of infidelity, there was no signs of nothing. But in his mind, we're doing, if we're not doing good, we're doing okay. You know what I mean? And in his mind, he thought that love was enough to sustain them. But clearly it wasn't, because out of the clear blue, without no telltale signs, you know what I mean? Boom, I'm heading for divorce. Boom, I'm divorced. Boom, man, I got all these bills out my ass.
But my thing is, in growing apart or anything like, or separating, why does infidelity have to even come up? It's not necessarily a factor.
I didn't say that it did. I gave a reference that, there was no signs of it. Usually when, a female gets, a shot of new life, if she gets extra 3 inches in her back, usually if a guy gets the best hit ever, then, we confuse lust with love. And now we're looking like, oh, I need that. I need that more in my life. So that's the reason I brought that up. Usually when people start to get that extra, where they're not getting that intense, crazy, wild cowboy sex that they may be lacking. Now they're looking at the front door for greener pastures. And I believe on our last recorded podcast, I talked about, the grass is green, your grass is dying, but your grass has more color. So you should, appreciate the changes and evolution of your grass, appreciate that significant other in your life. And then they'll come back to being green again. And then I go through that process again, meaning that love has this ups and downs. It has this, you have to work through, you go through, you work through, right? Mm. But in the same doggone token, it's just like, what made me really change my mind, believing that, love is really not enough, that you have to do the work. So, and this is my stance on that. Love is going to get you to a level. That's all. I'm going to offend some people. It's all right, because a lot of people are just real lovey-dovey. If you look at Instagram with that fake shit, if you look at Facebook with that fake shit, if you look at Snapchat, TikTok, the latest with the reels, and everybody's doing that happy. Like, you give this whole persona of, and if you're looking at face value and everything seems to be perfect, and that's cool. And those things are just naming people, they're using those social media platforms, building up their relationships, or they're faking it for the world. Not a problem, right? But no matter what you're doing in your relationship, when that love gets you to a level and it stops, and people think because I love you to an extent, keyword is extent, that it's going to for a lifetime. That's bullshit. Like, without work, I promise you, love will fall by the wayside. Without work, you can love a person to an extent. You can only love a person to the extent that you're capable of loving. I'm going to say it again, say it real slow. You can only love a person to a certain extent. Like I can only love you as much love as I can give. I can't go beyond what I'm capable of, but I can work much harder than I can love you. And what I mean by that is there's certain things that you can do in a relationship to, I can show you I love you. I can make love to you like I love you. I can be thoughtful, you know what I mean? So you'll believe that, but that you'll know that I love you. I can be selfless in all aspects of my life to keep building up, and that's work, right? Because like people get it twisted. Love is it's a verb. It's an action word, and you say you love me, but there's no action following what you said, and that's the work.
And the thing is, though, I feel like the reason why you can leave, like what you said earlier, like you got to differentiate between lust and love. And sometimes we don't know the difference until we're older. So the thing is, you got into a relationship based on lust, confusing it as love. So then when you 10, 20 years down the road, you like, I really don't like you. I barely love you. And that's how you end up in situations where you can walk away because originally you effed it up in the past. Like you were so quick to be dickmatized or pussymatized, if that's a real thing. But
no, that's a Karenism. You just made there you go.
Right,
you just made it up. That was Karenism.
Right, that's Karenism. You got dickmatized or you got pussy whipped so early in the beginning. You were like, "Oh, I'm in love." No, you in love, all right. You in love with the stroke.
You in love that monster that's in your back, realigning.
Right.
Realigning your spine.
So because you didn't do the work in the beginning to really find out, like now, like yesterday was National Daughter's Day, and I was talking to my daughter, and I said, you have to realize moving forward that whoever you get with, you have to realize how they're raised. Are they raised out of love or are they raised out of trauma? Because I said, if they're raised out of trauma, they're always in survival mode. And you raised in love, so you got somebody's love who's trying to convert somebody's trauma. No, you need them to maybe get some real, counseling. Maybe they really need to have some real live conversation with Jesus before y'all try to make a go at life.
Look at you. I think you need to give more people, okay, instead of you talking about your good hair, I think you need to give people more of this right here. That substance was phenomenal. Like real live. I'm like, let me get out the way. I'm going to move out. Like, matter of fact, this is my last podcast. I'm moving on to greener pastures. This is be the
there
KK
are no
show.
Greener pastures than me. The hell? What kind of statement is that? We just talked about this last week.
Ain't no greener pastures than you.
Nah.
You sure?
Ain't nobody gonna put up with your hollering, your screaming, and all that. In the beginning, they gonna like the color of it, but when they get yelled at that first time, or you say something off the wall, on camera or off, they're gonna be like, "Oh, whoever got him before can take him back."
Oh, Jesus. Right. I hear you talking, but I was greener pastures talking about my own thing by my own self, so I can tolerate me.
Yeah, that's right. You and the voices in your head can tolerate yourself. You're right.
Oh, the voices in my head, I've really good friends of mine, the voices in my head, I promise you, I'm trying to tell you, I'm always in, anyway, we'll leave it alone. Yeah, that's between me and my, therapist. But no, everything that you said, all jokes aside, you really summed it up. I love the fact that, how you said you get with a person, they're in survival mode and they don't have the understanding, and they'll give the great illusion of love.
Absolutely.
They will give you, they'll take the time out to learn you, study you, speak the same language that you're speaking, but it's not sustainable because it's not them as a person. They're not, okay. In order for love to be sustainable, you have to draw from the well of love. Like, okay, you got to draw from the well of love in order for love to be, if you're not drawing from the well of love, as consistent as you possibly can, that well is going to eventually dry up, and then you're going to draw from who you really are. And that's what happens with a lot of relationships, and they keep, and we're being, lack of better words, we're being programmed to believe that love conquers all, and for the most part, it does. But you have to, galvanize love with work. Matter of fact, you got to galvanize anything with work. Like, faith without works is dead. Like the Bible tell you that. I think I quoted it correctly for, my Bible thumper, on the other mic, will correct me if I, misquoted the Bible. So I honestly believe that, you guys who anything is dead if you ain't working towards it. And we think that we're going to hang our hat on, love. Okay, so let me walk you down my life. Let me, walk you down. And, I can say these things because my wife does not listen to the podcast, so I don't have to worry about, me get my ass whipped in the middle of the night. So the first couple of years of my marriage was Jesus. I don't want to say traumatic. I don't want to say a shit show. I don't want to say, we had our moments, but when we wasn't having our moments, it was bad. There's no way that we supposed to be jokingly referring to being married 12 years as 12 years a slave. Like it wasn't supposed to happen that way. It wasn't, right. Like, it was just bad. Like it was a lot of, miscommunication, a lot of disrespect, a lot of, no trust. It was, her, leaving with her truths in her life and me, finally having to waver in my beliefs of it's my way or no way. Right. So we had to reach a happy medium, and the love was there. That's the canyon-like rifts didn't grow further. It didn't grow bigger because the love was there. But we both had to understand that the work had to come in much sooner. So what happens when you get in a relationship and whatnot, the love curves you the first couple of years. And then you get over what's called the honeymoon phase. And then that's when the work comes in. That we did shit ass backwards. So we was over the honeymoon phase as soon as I bust on the honeymoon. Like as soon as I skied, the honeymoon phase was over, right? And then we had to work to get back into love. And now we alternate between love and work. We definitely understand that love can't get us but so far, and we have to work. Two things. Okay, let me put something else with that word, because I really want to take people, and help them with what this message I'm trying to convey. Work is a beautiful thing when you're selfless in doing it. And I promise you, work is a beautiful thing. Stop looking at being in a relationship is I'm doing all of this and they're not doing. And that's what a lot of people stop working at. I do this, I do that, I give you this, I. The opposite word is I. And the mental should be we. Or if you're going to use I'm doing this for the betterment of us. It's selfless. So I'm doing this before so stop worrying about what you're not getting. And like I said before, what happens is the more you start to, become the person you would, you want your spouse to be, you're not trying to change them, but you're showing behaviors like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm no longer arguing for the sake of argument. I'm no longer being disrespectful. I'm no longer keeping ungodly hours. I'm being attentive to your needs, even though that you're still falling short. I'm still going to do what I'm supposed to do. Right. And two things are going to happen. Right. And so somebody's out there listening, it's like, that may not work. You're right. That just may not work. So two things happens in the course of that may not work. You have made yourself a better person for the next person that deserves all your greatness, right? Or they may see, okay, I can let my guards down and I can buy into, the game plan that my spouse is laying forward for the both of us. That's it. So don't think that, you're doing all this and your spouse is still an ass 4, 5, 6, 7 years later. If you do this continuously and there's no signs of growth, if there's no signs of maturity, walk the fuck away. Matter of fact, okay, let me help you out. Don't walk away. Skip, sing, dance with a bottle of wine away, and don't feel bad about it, right? And the reason that you shouldn't feel bad, because in being the best version of you, working in your love, you can walk away and say, I did everything. I did everything, right? You can, with clear conscience. That's gonna love being a parent to my kids, right? Like I'll tell them something. I'll give them the A through Z because I'm long with it, right? Like I'm being right now. I'll give them the A through Z, and they can pick and choose what they want to do. And then if they want to do an alphabet that's either A nor Z and do something on their own and it goes totally left, I don't feel bad. And the reason I don't feel bad, because in my heart, I did what I was supposed to do. And I'm saying that to somebody like as long as you do what you're supposed to do, if the inevitable end comes, you know what I mean? If it comes, you do not be guilt tripped. Don't be none of those things. Just realize like, okay, it ran this course. I can walk away and I'm not going to shed not one tear. On some MJB shit, I'm not going to cry no more. I'm not going to shed no tears. No.
And but that's the thing. You have to first off love yourself. We say that 1,000 times, but it's a real thing. Like when you don't love you, you can't love anybody else because you don't know what to expect.
Let me put something with that. First of all, before you start to love yourself, you got to know yourself. A lot of people don't even know who they truly are, what they're into, what their likes and dislikes. They just go along to get along. So before you even begin, the healing process or the learning process of yourself, get to know yourself. Get to know what you like, whether it be physical things, emotional things, spiritual things. Get to know you, because you can't present the true you if you don't even know if the true you is a stranger. You can't present the true you to anybody else because the true you is a stranger. You can't even, how can you, this is me. What the fuck? Okay. But you acting like Eddie Murphy. This is
Eddie
me.
Murphy.
You're acting like Martin Lawrence. This is me. You got the fake Denzel going on. Like you, I'm just throwing names out there. You're right. But you assume all these characters and you want to present them as who you, and that has nothing. It's not really you. It's just a persona.
But in that situation, that's not even, it's not you. That's your representative. That's you trying to bait somebody at that point. You are literally suckering somebody in to love me. And that's not cool. It's not. Yeah, you have to give who you are. Like, and this is why loving yourself is so important. Because when you love you, you don't give a shit about what the other person thinks about you. If they can't accept you, flaws and all, then your next statement should be, fuck them. Keep it pushing. Go on to whomever.
I did. Did you just drop an F-bomb? She dropped the F-bomb. Like, it's crazy, man.
Like, that's when you know it's serious.
Right. It's crazy. People with pretty lips, they just cuss or curse sexy. People with pretty lips, try saying that shit fast 5 times. They just curse sexy. I don't even know what they talk about. They say something like, what? Oh, you just dropped the F-bomb. I need a cigarette. Anyway.
Get your cigarette. Listen, I'm gonna have everybody like JT later on talk about I can't drink you away.
Ooh, Jesus. No, you'll be saying shit because you be want me to sing. Like, I think you be want me to.
No, don't do it. Do not.
I tried Jack, I tried Jam, I tried all of his friends. I can't drink you away.
If you saw the cringe on my face.
Jesus. Okay.
But that's a cut. That's a cut.
Sidebar. Lord, like, I be at work, for those that don't know, besides me being on the microphone, being the lovable asshole, I am a full-time sanitation technician. That's a fancy word for trash man. Yeah. So I'll get to a song on my playlist and then I'll catch a vibe, right? Because I'm 50 and 9 times out of 10, I got to take this a little younger than me. And so they be going, right? They be so I got to find a vibe. I promise you on everything. That's right. I didn't say every, I said every. I promise you on everything. I caught that JT boy right there, Drink You Away. I listened to that song about 3 hours straight and I got in my zone. I promise you, I did not feel no more pain. I was no longer tired. I'm sorry. I didn't went way left. Drink you away. I didn't try Jack. I didn't try Jim. I didn't try all of
Are
his
you
friends.
and your friends done? Are you and your friends done?
But you, like, if you listen to that, right? Like, how
the joint is hot. Like, if you going through a breakup, that'll take you down some roads, because you'll try Jack, you will try Jim, and you will try all of his friends with think salt, about lime, lemon, in a shot glass, in a highball glass, in a drink, out of the drink. Listen, you will definitely do some strange.
Once again, that's love, right? But
okay,
think about the impression that you had to leave on a person, whereas they can't get drunk enough to forget you, because that's what that song is about. Like, I can't drink you away. Like, right. I know when I sober up, all my feelings are coming back tenfold. But even in the midst of me drinking, I can't get drunk enough where I'm so inebriated that I don't even know who I am, much less you, right? And so tying it back into the topic is love enough. That's when you know love is done right. That's when you know you've then let the best in your life walk out of your life, right? That's when you know, like, the grass was greener at home, no matter what stage of life it was in. Like, cause like grass is seasonal, like life is seasonal, like the seasons are seasonal. It's gonna go through its go through. You gotta appreciate it while it's going through its go through. But you all over the place and whatnot. And then when it's gone, you sit beside me and we both drinking. But I'm drinking, celebrating, because I know who I am. I just stepped into it. I'm like, okay, cool. Mm-hmm. This is not perfect, but we're going to perfectly make it work. Highs and lows, ups and downs, we're going to do. I promise you, because we understand the work. That has to be, and not only in relationship wise. Let's bring it right to me and my co-host, right? I love my co-host. You know what I mean? as a person. I care for her well-being. I care for her family. We have great conversation off air. You know what I mean? We genuinely, cut from one another, right? But we know like if you listen back to the first, beef, what's the beef episode. If y'all didn't realize that had to be that there's love there because we had to work through our differences. So not only in relationship wise, just in every relationship in your life, you have to work towards that. I just recently had I won't say misunderstanding because you don't have misunderstandings with kids. You have, because my daughter, like, yeah, I know that's anybody that knows me knows that, there's God. And then way down that list, there's mama. And then everybody else. Like, anybody know me? Like, it's no need for you to lie. Yo, it's my queen. Oh, it's my, no. People understand who mama is to me in my life, right? Yo, she's the straw that stirs the drink of DK. I promise you that's my heart. But even me and her, because she's getting older and she has her own opinions and she does things in her own time. So, and I have to respect that. I can't because I never pull the card because daddy said so. I think that's, for me, I didn't like it when it was done to me as a kid, so I try my best not to do it with my kids. So long story short, we had to work as much as we love each other because we're straight clowns. Like we straight clowns, big wrestling fans. If you walk in the house, you'll see, we're going through a whole wrestling skit down the steps, across the couch, get smacked upside the head with a frying pan. Like, I promise you, my house is crazy, right? But through all of that, we recently had to work through us, okay, I love you, but this is what it's going to be. And so I had to explain to her, like, I've loved you because you just recently turned. I said this recently too. I love you up to a point. Now I need to prepare you for life. Right. And so we're not going to always see eye to eye. And she's not going to realize what it is. Like, I'm moving off of me loving her, second to none besides God. And so now I'm working on what's going to help her for the rest of her life. And she won't understand what I'm doing until she has kids. So we're not only talking about love between man and woman. We're talking about love in every facet of your life because true love still conquers all. Love should be the basis of everything. But like I said earlier and how I keep reiterating, if you're not willing to work on, that love for, whatever aspect of your life, then you're going to fall short every time. You're going to wonder, why am I coming up short? You're coming up short because love is an action thing with your actionless ass.
Ooh, not with your actionless. So my thing is this, in all that we've said, like I said, if you don't love you at the beginning, then how do you require that from somebody else? How do you require something that you can't give? And the thing is, when you, like I said this a couple podcasts ago, I'm at that phase of life where I'm redefining love for myself. As I'm kind of coming into a new phase of myself, I have to redefine how I want things and the energy I'll accept. So at this point now, a brother talking to me, you having basic communication skills don't impress me. Congratulations. You should have basic communication skills. You having your own house, your own car, your own kids, your own whatever. Great. Congratulations. Is there anything else? Right. We're going to clap for it. Anything else? You got anything else going on for you? Because if that's where we stop, then that's where we literally going to stop. You have to love the fact that I am somebody's mom. I am somebody's Gigi. I am somebody's daughter. I am, an entrepreneur. I am somebody's business partner. I am somebody's I am. You got to take all of me because you don't know what version of me you're going to wake up with. I might be in mom mode and you might not like me in mom mode. You might not like me in entrepreneur mode. That's the biggest complaint at this point. Everything, when you're in the project, that's what comes first. Your podcast comes first. Your book comes first. Your website comes first. Rah, rah, rah. If that is what you're competing against, you and me are not meant to be. If you're competing against my business, that makes me happy. That is my purpose in life. God made me a creative and I'm now in my creative zone. If that's what you're competing against, because you ain't got shit going on over there. I said, do you not hear how crazy you sound? Like at all? But I love me enough to say, listen, and what I got going on, say, hey, I understand where you come from. You ain't got nothing else going on. You working your 9 to 5 and God bless you for your 9 to 5 to, provide your needs and your wants and everything. But if you can't take all of me, go ahead, do your John Legend bit.
You must have heard me chomping at the bit.
I knew it. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, here you go.
All of me? Okay, I'm not
loves all of you. Finish the line.
I'm not.
So you can't take somebody as all encompassing as who they are. You only want the version of them either that you fell in love with the representative, you're going to fail. If you only fall in love with the parts of them that you like, you're going to fail. Love is not going to cover all of it. You have to love the person, who they are, who God has made them to be, and where they go in life. And that's where we fall short, is that we sometimes only love people to where we have the capacity to love them to, because this is as far as I've gone. So that's as far as I can love you. No. That person might be doing a little better than you. So you're going to the next level. So you know how to operate in business. So you know how to operate in faith. So you know how to operate as a parent. They might just be a step above you, and it's not a bad thing. Nobody's knocking them for that. Nobody's knocking you for the level you're at, but you have to love somebody not only in your capacity, but have the capacity to grow. And I think that's where we fail.
Facts. Summing it up, you have to love a person in their totality. And what happens is we want to pick and choose what we love about a person and then disregard the rest. And that you can't do that. And like my co-host, beautifully said, that you got to take, not even knocking on my man, John Legend, you got to love all of me, just not what you like. You got to love the parts of me that you can't stand. Right. And in doing so, you will help me to work on those parts. Right. But if you just pick and choosing what you love and then give me your ass to kiss on the parts that you don't, then I'm going to hold fast because I'm going to think there's nothing wrong with me. Right. But if you love all of me and then help me work on those parts that I know, that are shortcomings of mine, then, in the long run, we both win. But Absolutely. By you just being selective of what you love of me, we are doomed. It's, getting around it. We can go through the motions, but, we're definitely doomed.
Yeah, you can definitely grow in love, but I can't grow in your box. It's the reason it's a box.
Do not.
The reason there's a box, because that box might come with a lid, or that box might only hold so many cubics of me. I can grow in love. That gives me a lot of space to go forward. That gives us a lot of space to go forward. Not even because and the thing is, I think in relationships, no matter what the relationship is, you have to understand that those are either it's a 2-person relationship or it's multiples. Because, sometimes like the relationship, like if you're not with your child's parent, it's you as whatever role you play, that parent is the other parent and your child. That's a 3-person relationship. And if you don't give that love for who you grow into, hear me out, grow into, not who you are, because who you are right now is not who you're going to be next year. You have to grow into that person. And in growing into that, people who love you have to let you grow and love you in that space.
Facts.
You can't love me in a box. Because I'm never going to be what you. I don't know what you put in the box. Jack might go in the box, and when you go
for the right price, for the right price,
I don't know what's gonna pop out.
Right, for the right price, Jill jump in the box with Jack. For the right price, I'm trying to tell you, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, she gonna jump right in. She ain't gonna stay, but for the right price, Jill, little nasty ass, she right there with Jack.
She'll stay for a minute. She'll stay till the box get cold. At least she'll stay till the box get cold.
She gonna stay until a pop out. Once she pop out, she heard what? And that's the reason why Jack pops out the box, is Jill in there with her, excited the fuck out of Jack. And then she gone, and he's still looking like, what the hell?
So Jack and Jill went up the hill. Jack went up with how much?
Oh, that's Andrew Dice Joy. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Both had $1.25. Jill came down with $2.50. Oh, I'm sorry. That was my Andrew Dice guy. That's my dude there. Word is ball.
That's the line. But you have to.
I ain't mad at Jill though. She come down. She's an entrepreneur.
Right. Jill knew how to make it work. She knew the power. She knew the power of the pussy and the WAP.
No, we're not. As Cardi B takes her ass to divorce court.
Yeah, man, we're gonna have to go back. We're gonna have to loop back.
We're not. We do not chase. We do not, as bad as I want to. We're not. We're gonna leave that alone.
I have pray for them. Yeah. I have a lot to say for that one because people buy into things, and when you buy into a gimmick and it falls flat, then you mad. You want your.
But that goes back to what we're saying and whatnot. Like I don't know the reason that they fell out, and by the grace of God, I hope they can work. Okay, because it's apparent that they fell in love, maybe fell in lust with what each other had to offer, right? But they're relatively young. If they got great people in their circle, somebody should advise them. Like if you don't leave until the work is done. And then, okay, so I know you usually set me up for my Love Jones of the day. I'm gonna go ahead and
wait. Before you go there,
no, because I got
you got your vibe. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm old. I might lose my train of thought.
Write it down.
My Geritol. Look, so
Musol.
I'm not constipated. That's you. Well, okay. You may be emotionally constipated. Train of thought. You may be emotionally constipated. I promise you. Ain't nothing backed up over here. Okay. Maybe it is. We'll talk about that later. Just, it is what it is. See, mess around with you. I lost my double train. Like, you just vibe killer, hater. Anyway, so like what I am saying, you don't have to pass that. You don't have to set it up. It is what it is. Okay, so we're gonna close this out because we've been here a minute. So I'm gonna hit you with the Love Jones of the day. Like, looking at Cardi B, looking at Offset, for whatever reason they got to the point where they got at, whether it was lust, whether it was love, whether it was a financial situation, no matter what it is, no matter what it was, they got to a point, and whatever reasons got them to that height, and then it came tumbling down because they was no longer willing to work towards, the things that come out their mouth, which is love, right? And that's with anybody, whether you're married, whether you have kids, whether, your work environment, whether, it's a project that you're working on. Love, I still believe, is that factor that drives that'll never change for me. Like, right. And I believe that God reigns supreme over everybody. And in believing so, that, equates to love. I'm never going to move off that needle, no matter what craziness may comes out of my mouth. But there's a caveat to what I just said. Like, that gets you but so far, because you have to put the work in. You just can't be professing this, proclaiming this, and then you have nothing to show for it. Like, my relationship with my daughter, just like anybody that knows me, like, oh, he's a great dad, because they see me being loving towards, my daughter. Like, even when me and my wife, in the beginning of the relationship, wasn't seeing eye to eye, she knew, even at our worst moments, if she picked up the phone and there was something that she needed from me, something that, where there was a conversation, or if a car broke down, or if it just to, whatever, because of the love was still there, I'm going to go do what I'm supposed to do. Like, same thing with my man, little Kenny, that's my little brother. He go through like anybody else. And pick up the phone, and if I hear something in his voice, I don't care what I'm doing, I'm dropping it because I love him. So it's the work. Same thing with Karen. Like, she called me with, has nothing to do with the podcast, has to do with life, whatever the case may be, or she's going through her go through. I can be, let me stop. Because like I said, I love you. I said I cared for you. Now my actions have to match what I said. And that's the problem with people in relationship. You king this and queen that. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, don't give me a title and then like okay, you got to work towards whatever it is that I got to work towards that. Like, so give me something simple, right? We always want to label things, people, and then there's nothing to show for it. It's just, we want to be cute. We want to be in the moment. We want to be a trend. We want to be a fad. And then after a while, it only goes so far. So if you've been listening to this podcast, not to beat a dead horse unless you need glue, right? Be in love, be all the way in love, but just as much as you're in love, be willing to work towards that love. Bottom line, flat out. If you're not willing to cry, if you're not willing to sweat, if you're not willing to try to drink that pain away, shout out to JT, if you're not willing to do any of those things, if you're not willing to be fully committed to the words that came out your mouth, regarding love, then don't say it. If somebody say you love you, like, okay, you cool. Because I'm not gonna work. You're not worth the work. And be good in your space. Don't let them put you in a position where, okay, I gotta say I love you back. Like, if you didn't be honest, it's gonna save so many people, heartache, all it's gonna save the pain, right? Just be honest. But if you're feeling that person the way that you're feeling you, if y'all didn't commit it, if you didn't said your vows, whatever the case may be, if you're going all in, then don't go all in emotionally. Go all in with every aspect of your life. And in doing so, I try my best not to make guarantees. I guarantee you will come out the other side winning. I put that on everything. Love, y'all. Work your ass off.
Well, it is that time. It's time to tell y'all bye. But we do love y'all. We love y'all. We love you. Y'all are so dope. Y'all are so amazing. Y'all rock with us week after week after week after week. Y'all commentary keeps me cracking up. Whether it be Instagram or YouTube, listen, keep it coming. Keep it coming. If you have not reviewed us on wherever you listen to the podcast, please do so. If you want to follow us on social media, follow us, check the show notes. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever we are on social media. Of course, there's more of me than there is of DK because he's just not that guy. But if you feel very strongly about something he says or you want to holler at him, please use a text only number that, again, is in the show notes. Every week, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Here y'all are with us. We love y'all. Let's see. What else is there? What can I say? Listen, love yourself, love others. Be kind, be safe, be safe, be safe, be safe. Not just from COVID, but in this life. Be safe.
Are you trying to drop a nugget? I thought I didn't close the show up. You trying to steal my thunder?
No.
Did I step on your toes when you was doing the what the fuck news? See, I love you enough to play my position. I love you enough to be the hoe to your pimp. I love you enough to shut my mouth like a good doggone housewife. And this is the thanks I get.
Bye-bye.
Say again?
Tell the people bye-bye.
I ain't telling the people nothing. Look, all right, look, everything my co-host said, man. My co-host said, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Peace.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended. But please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.